Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast, Chai C podcast, even though we have two people here. Today we are diving into a huge topic that gamers and movie fans have debating for years.
Yep, we are talking about why game adaptation movie usually flop.
Yes, it's not just a coincidence. I think not. There's real pattern behind this.
Coincidence? I think not!
Despite the hype and huge fan base, most of these adaptations miss the mark. They either butcher the story, miscast the character, or completely misunderstand what made the game special. Think Assassin's Creed, Monster Hunter, or Borderlands. These have everything going for them on paper, but fail apart in execution.
Yes,
Fans end up disappointed, and critics call them hollow or forgettable. Of course, there are exceptions like The Last of Us or Sonic the Hedgehog, which prove it can work.
if it was done right. So let's start with the basics. Why do studio even want to adapt video games into a movie?
Well, it makes sense financially. Popular games already have a huge fan base and built-in worlds. For example, Owen Amaral
Yes.
in his academic thesis. Note that video games have become a cultural touchstone like Star Wars,
Yes.
and studios see them as a gold mines. But adapting them requires more than just using a game title.
Exactly. And one of the biggest problem, narrative. Games are interactives, and players are at the center of the experience. Sydney Beatty explained that themes force player into a passive role, and this shift can make the story feel empty.
Great point. Another factor we notice is how much time the format gives the story to breathe. Many flops are fast-paced live-action films that try to compress hours for gameplay into 2-hour movie.
Yes.
Take Assassin's Creed for example. Across the gameplay, player can spend over 40 hours unraveling deep raw and character arcs. But the movie tries to fit it all into the tiny story with confusing timeline and undeveloped characters.
Yes.
The result, a movie that feels rushed, fast, and hard to follow.
First up, Assassin's Creed in 2016 is focused way too much on the real world while the game shines in historical fiction and immersive storytelling. The modern scenes took up more screen times than the historical one, making the experience feel less adventurous. Non-gamer found it confusing, and even fans said the tone was too dark and the character felt lifeless.
And that film was trying so hard to be
Yes.
serious.
Yes.
It forgot to be fun.
Yes.
Now, take Monster Hunter in 2020.
Yeah.
The movie takes place almost entirely in the desert. No green or iconic environments
Yeah.
like in the game.
Yeah.
It also only shows a handful monsters, and the editing is so choppy, it's hard to follow the action.
Yes.
It ended up making less than $50 million from a $50 million budget.
Flop. And the next one is Borderlands from 2024. This is another one of the biggest flop ever. From the budget of $115 million, it only bought only $18 million globally. Critics and fans says the character felt nothing like the original game's personas. The humor didn't land, and the action was flat. The world of Borderlands is known for its chaotic energy, cel shade art style, and sharp sarcasm, but none of that translated well to the theme. Even fan favorite characters like Lilith and Claptrap were re-emerging in ways that felt disconnected from the source. Instead of embracing the game's bold identity, the movie came off as generic sci-fi with weak punchline. Fans point out that it felt more like a parody than a true adaptation.
Then the Uncharted in 2022,
Yep.
it was a box office success over $400 million.
Ooh.
But the reviews were mixed.
Yeah.
7 directors dropped out of the project before it got made, and the final version felt like generic adventure movie.
Yep.
Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg didn't match the character vibe from the games, and the story was weak prequel that didn't add much.
Yeah, and of course, the Resident Evil. The Resident Evil series starring Mila Jovovich, instead of adapting the survival horror gameplay, it became an action-heavy franchise. The iconic game characters like Jill or Leon or Claire were sidelined in a favor of Alice, a new character made for the movie. While the film made money, the critics slammed the plot hole, constant retcons, and lacks of narrative consistency.
Let's flip the script. In these recent years, Sonic the Hedgehog in 2020 is great case.
Yes.
The first trailer dropped, and fans hate Sonic design. It looked really human and creepy.
That's horrible.
But the studio listened, delayed the release, and designed Sonic.
Yes.
The effort to respect fans built massive goodwill, and the film became a hit.
Yeah. And then there is the Super Mario Bros. In 2023. The movie is nailed the feel of the game by using a game-like perspective, incorporating clever visual storytelling and including lots of Easter eggs that long-time player love. Plus, it had Shigeru Miyamoto, the game creator, directly involved in production. The animation format gave it the room to embrace the whimsy of the game world.
Phoenix is marked in 2025 also worked. Despite critics being lukewarm, it's leaned into fan culture and internet humor. Feature big names like Jack Black and Jason Momoa,
Yes.
and knew its audience was mainly kids and hardcore fans who want to see their world on screen.
Yes.
An action format worked here because it didn't aim for realism, but it aimed for fun.
Exactly. And of course, The Last of Us in 2023 set the gold standard. The original game already had a strong emotional story, but what made the series special was how it's explained on that. With the creator Neil Druckmann involved, and the show taking time to explore side character and subtle emotional arcs. It respects the game while deepening it. The result? Huge viewership, critical acclaim, and multiple Emmys.
Same with Fallout in 2024. Instead of retelling the game, it created an original story that still fell true into the Fallout universe.
Yes.
The tone, the dark humor, and the visual world building were all there. And working with Bethesda helped the show stay authentic. It proved its Over 100 million viewers. What stood out was how the show captured the lifeless yet quirky tone of the games. War life, mutated creature, moral ambiguity, and tied it all into the compelling character arcs. It didn't just recreate the game, it expanded the universe with fresh characters and storylines, while staying loyal to the franchise DNA.
So, what is the takeaway here? Adapting a game isn't just translating visuals, it's taking note of what made the game special and how that feeling can be recreated in a different medium.
Exactly. The biggest flaws are often made by teams that didn't fully grasp the game's identity. But the success does happen when creators take their time, respect the source, and choose the right format,
Yes.
whether that animation, live action, or full-length series.
Yeah. And with more adaptation on the way, there's still a lot to look forward to. We have got Mortal Kombat 3 hitting theaters in 2025, Street Fighter reboot coming 2026, and then in animation there is Super Mario Bros. 2 in 2026, The Angry Birds 3 in 2027, and lastly Sonic the Hedgehog 4 landing in 2027.
So, it will be interesting to see which of these will break the trend or fall into the same path. We will finally learn what makes adaptation work.
Yeah, we will see. So, thank you for listening. If you like this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Next time, we might explore why some anime to live action adaptations struggle too. See you then.